Standards identified in these activities have been adopted from the content standards of the national organization for each discipline. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. The students in this 4th grade class are writing their own classroom constitution. They begin the lesson by looking up the definition of democracy. As they use Franklin Language Masters to look up the definition, the teacher integrates Technology Performance Indicator number 8 for grades 3 through 5. This standard refers to the use of technology resources for extended learning activities. This activity also incorporates Social Studies Standard 10 for early grades A. This standard requires that students identify key ideals of the United States democratic form of government and discuss their application.
This morning we are going to create a classroom set of rules. Some people call this classroom constitution. Some people might call it a classroom belief statement. Some people might call it a classroom Bill of Rights. That's what our objective is to create that through today and tomorrow. And you're going to work cooperatively in groups, and you're going to decide what the 5 guidelines, 5 Bill of Rights, the Constitution that has 5 parts, however you want to call it, you're going to decide what those rules will be. Anybody have an idea of democracy, what that might mean? Okay, let's put it in our language master then. Type it in there. Who wrote down the first definition today? Okay, Alex, what's the first one say to us?
Government by the people,
especially
rule of the majority.
The majority. And what is the majority? The majority is the most people. If most of the people want something, that's what the majority is. Okay? And the minority is that other group. So if you had 100 people, and if 60 people, you went out to the playground, and if 60 people voted and said they wanted to play kickball, that would be the majority, because there would be 60 people and there would be 40 people left over, wouldn't there? Okay?
The class uses an online dictionary to find additional information and compare the definitions they found with the language masters. The teacher's integration of the internet search into the learning activity addresses Technology Performance Indicator number 6 for grades 3 through 5. This standard refers to using telecommunications efficiently to access remote information in support of direct and independent learning.
What we're going to do is we're going to go to a page and we're going to check a dictionary, an online dictionary, for our 2 words that we talked about before, belief and democracy, okay? And see if there's any differences. Look at your definition. Tad, what do you think?
They're a lot longer.
They're a lot longer on here. So does that mean the word means something different?
No.
Did you find anything different from here to your sheet?
Not that much.
No. So those 2 words are going to be key words for us today.
The students view a picture of the Bill of Rights online. They discuss the history and the importance of the Bill of Rights. The teacher incorporates Civics and Government Standard 3 for grades K through 4 and the McREL Civics Standard 8, which requires students to understand the central ideas of American constitutional government and how this form of government has shaped the character of American society.
Can anybody tell us what the United States Bill of Rights is? What is it? Tad?
President Lincoln wrote it out, but before the Civil War.
Well, it was written before the Civil War, but President Lincoln did not write it. Okay, but you're close. Okay, Alyssa?
I think there was this big gathering of people, and they all decided to make these rules for, like, the USA or the government, and they all wrote a rule in it.
That's correct. There was a big gathering of people that made rules. Okay? Alyssa, why do you suppose that it looks like this?
It could have been rained on or something like that.
Yeah, it's old and it could have been damaged somehow. And let's go to the link right above the scanned photo, the summary of the Bill of Rights from the Yale Law School.
Okay, I can read this.
Yes. It has a picture at the top and it looks like what's on your screen here. And there are the 10 Bill of Rights. Now, we need to talk about each one of those just very, very briefly so you kind of understand what those mean, because those are the rules that we all live by. Those are the rights that we have. And what about that third one where it says religion? Alyssa?
Like, you can be like Christian, or you can be Jewish, and nobody would care about that.
Yeah, it's okay. In this country, it's okay to practice whatever religion that you choose. Raquel?
In some countries, all the people have to be one religion.
That's correct, Raquel. I'm glad you brought that up. In some countries, all the people have to be a certain religion. They don't have a choice. But in America, in the United States, we have a choice, and that's our First Amendment right in the Bill of Rights.
The students then write their own belief statements that will be part of their classroom constitution. Each group has their own democratic theme and must generate a concise statement that exemplifies their beliefs. The teacher integrates Social Studies Standard 10 for early grades D. This standard requires students to identify and practice selected forms of civic discussion and participation consistent with the ideals with citizens in a democratic republic.
At PLS, we have developed 5 guidelines, and those were 5 words, aren't they? And their words are posted in every classroom. Each group, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes, and each group is going to be assigned one of those 5 words. And what you need to do is you need to develop a 1-sentence statement that represents that word that our class can live by. So let me give you an example. Anybody remember what the golden rule is? Remember the first day when we came in? The golden rule, Katie?
Treat others how you want to be treated.
Treat others as you want to be treated. We want to come up with a statement like that that's going to guide our class. One for each one of those rules. We need to see that you're working cooperatively. We need to see that all opinions are valued. Okay? And everybody contributes. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes today, and then after that time, we're going to be all done. And then we're going to pick up tomorrow, and we're going to have you present whatever the word was that your guideline was, and we're going to present your statement to the class. And then as a class, we're going to try to agree that that's the statement we would like to have through a process. Okay, a responsible student always is reliable and does what they are told. Okay, are there specific things that responsible students do?
Bring in their homework.
Let me write down a couple things. Yeah. They bring homework.
They come to school on time.
Back to school. They come to school on time. So those are 2 things you might want to include. Are there other things that responsible students do, Katie?
Yeah, they clean their room.
Their classroom?
Yeah. Well, they help. Well, my room is all messy.
Well, let's talk about school, okay? Keep their desk clean?
Keep their locker clean.
Okay. What if we said personal space? What does personal space mean to you?
Your own things.
Your own things? Okay,
like where you sit, keep it clean.
Okay, so we say desk. Okay, keep desk clean. Okay, what else? Locker. And locker. Okay. Why don't you guys see? I really like this. I think that's really, really pretty good. But maybe there would be somebody that might say, a responsible student, reliable isn't necessarily keeping your desk clean or locker clean. So maybe we could put some things in there that's a little more specific. What does our internet say, the website say about responsibility? What are those descriptions?
Complete and return assignments on time. Own mistakes, apologize for wrong, and be on time.
Okay, so maybe some of those things could be included in your sentence.
This activity also integrates English Language Arts Standard Number 6 and the 4th grade Core Knowledge Sequence for Language Arts, which requires students to apply knowledge of language structure and language conventions to create print and non-print texts.
Okay, you guys have some really good ideas here. If someone asks you to do something, you do it for them. But who could that someone be?
Your teacher.
Okay, you could be specific. You could say a teacher or an adult at school. Or a school adult. Okay? And then I want you to include a couple of those other things, okay, in there. And you can make a series. You know what a series is, right?
Like
You know, something, comma, something else, comma, something else, and...
Paragraph?
You don't want to write a paragraph, you want to write a sentence, but you can include a series of more than one thing, put a comma between them. Okay. Right here?
Yep.
Okay. A responsible student is always reliable, brings homework back to school, keeps their desk and locker clean, and comes to school on time. That sounds really good. Okay? Gives us some specific things to work for, right? All right, are you guys ready for the sheet then?
Yeah.
All right. What I would do is I'd write it in pencil first, okay? And you can either write it this way or you can write it this way.
The groups read their belief statements and the class votes on whether they agree on the statement. The class gives the presenters feedback and the group modifies their statement according to the suggestions. By teaching the students about voting as a form of civic participation, the teacher again integrates Social Studies Standard 10 for early grades D. This activity also fulfills Civics and Government Standard 5 for grades K through 4, as the students participate in a civic discussion and democratic process.
A person with a positive attitude would say good game to their opponents, thank others who are kind to them, and compliment others.
Questions or comments? Terry?
You might want to add they would be happy
Okay. Where could we add that?
at the end.
Okay. That's a thought. Go ahead, Ted.
They should write, have fun doing games.
Okay. A positive attitude would say good game to their opponents. Okay. So maybe say something about having fun during the game. Okay. Katie, did you have something?
I think it's very good.
Okay. Raquel.
I don't get, like, a person with a positive attitude would say good game. Wouldn't it be the person who lost or something would have the positive attitude because they wouldn't get upset because they lost or something?
What were you guys thinking when you put that in?
We were going to put something else, but we didn't. We were going to put a person with a positive attitude would say good game to their opponents no matter what. We didn't put that.
Okay. It looks like we've got some folks that aren't quite ready to agree yet. What can we do to make that correct? What can we do to change that? Kyle?
You could add if somebody's mad, you could say it doesn't matter about losing, it just matters about if you have fun.
Okay, something about fun in there.
Yeah.
Now, here's what we did. A person with a positive attitude would say good game to their opponents, be positive about homework, thank others who are kind to them, and compliment others. Can we live with that?
Yes.
Can we live with that?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's give them a hand. Nice job, girls.